You are listening to the Kinky Coach Podcast with Stephanie
and Fox.
Hey, Fox.
Yeah?
You've been a bad, bad boy.
Naughty boy. Naughty boy should be punished.
This show contains explicit content
And is intended for mature audiences only.
This is what happens when an innocent, successful mental health professional
Falls for a rugged, prior deployed bad boy.
You get one hell of a ride. Good afternoon.
Hey, thank you guys for tuning in today. I'm Stephanie, and I'm an LPC and sex therapist specializing in alternative relationships.
Yeah. And I am Fox. I'm a board-certified relationship and sex coach, a sexual assault intervention specialist, and a crisis intervention specialist.
So, question.
Sure.
How does one become a celebrity swinger?
Sure.
Okay.
Yes.
So, and how can you create artistic pictures for your dating pages and help you kind of...
That look phenomenal?
That look fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So today, we're going to figure all that out. We're going to talk to Sadie and Silver from Las Vegas about how they have rocked their celebrity status within the lifestyle and how you can create your own rock star content to kind of put out there for the world.
Yeah, so this couple, they've been in the lifestyle for 13 years. They are influencers. They are party hosts. They hosted Swing Fest in 2012. They've done LLV, Dirty Vegas, Sin City, Plush, Bliss, and I'm sure there are some that I'm missing out on. That's just what I could find. And from what they wrote into us. And we came across them not because of their celebrity status initially, but because the content they provide and they post is, it's phenomenal. It's eye-catching. It's very sexual,
it's
but very
candy.
But very classy. So a lot of hard work goes into these pictures and this imagery in these videos. And that's what originally caught Stephanie and I's attention.
Caught your attention. Let's be honest. Stephanie doesn't get on social media often.
Yeah, you hate the book face.
So
I do too.
you found it and showed it to me.
Right. I found it. I remember them from years and years ago when I was doing my stuff with Playboy, and I came to Stephanie and was like, I want to interview them. They have a phenomenal message that they push out as well. Everything is very sex positive and very endearing, and they're just very honest individuals. At least that's what they come across.
So why are we saying this about them and not let them tell us?
Well, we will absolutely allow them to tell their own story, but we just had to steal 2 minutes of the spotlight here.
I know, right? Well, let's bring them on and let's get this thing started because I am so interested to know more. Yeah. So thank you, Sadie and Silver, for joining us.
Hi.
Hi.
Thank you for having us.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit about you. What's your story? All of this fun stuff. How'd you meet?
Well, there's two versions of how we met. The how we met version to all of our vanilla friends and family is we met on MySpace back in 2008 when I was like an early MySpace influencer back then.
Yeah, too many girls on there. You couldn't even add any friends. They're all porn stars and strippers.
Also, a lot of Maxim models, to be fair. And reality show girls.
All of them. Let's see, his fan club, I should.
Oh, I wish. But yeah, so that's the vanilla version. But the real version is we actually met on Adult FriendFinder, a swinging website. Mm. And the reason why we came across each other is that she was on there with her ex-husband, and they came across my profile when I was a single man.
He did.
And he did. And then he wanted to hook us up together.
Not
Sadie
a good
and I.
time to do that.
And this was on the tail end of their marriage. And I actually was not even in Las Vegas at the time. I was opening a new concept in Atlanta. So I was out of town. And from the moment they contacted us to the moment I actually came back, which is about 3 months, their marriage went from being together to being completely separated.
I don't know what my ex's thoughtless in the process. Like, here's this hot guy. We want to fuck him. But we're in a terrible relationship. So
here's this bad boy with tattoos
yeah.
and muscles. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And so, but the cool thing about that was that we did get a chance to speak over the course of 3 months, where we didn't actually ever see each other face to face. And she had to handle me dating several people at that time. We had not even met, so we didn't know what was really going to happen once we first got face to face. And after that location opened, I came back to Vegas, and the very day we got back, or I got back, she came over, and she made it three steps in the house before I bent her over the counter, and we were having sex. So it was literally not even 10 seconds of face to face before she was already bent over.
Yeah.
And we have been together every day since that day. Ever since.
Awesome.
I like
that was
that
back
story.
in 2008 around. Yeah.
And thinking I made you wait 6 weeks.
You did make me wait 6 weeks, you asshole. She got in 10 seconds.
I have.
Hey Kinky Nation, do you need help with navigating the swinging lifestyle? Fox and I offer personalized coaching services designed specifically for your relationship needs.
Are you the person that all your friends turn to when they have questions about sex? You should check out the Kinky Coach Sex Coach Certification course and get paid for sex coaching instead of doing it for free. Just go to kinkycoach.com.
Lastly, if you feel that you are in need of therapeutic services for your relationship or individually, please visit Beautiful Beginnings with an S, LLC.org for more information on the counseling services I offer. Okay, Kinky Nation, let's get back to the show.
I'm a big pleasure delayer. I believe in pleasure delay. I think that's an awesome way to really build intensity of an encounter.
Yeah.
So I'm all for that. But 3 months was a long time for me too, I gotta admit.
Yeah, that's a long time.
I mean, I spent that time with the girls from Rock of Love.
Yeah, you
so
called me in the middle
it
of
wasn't
that.
terrible, but
Called me in the middle of that, and I had to act all like, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can understand that.
Freaking out.
Yeah.
And it's like, cool.
That's funny. What,
It was so frustrating. Built MySpace up so big for that location we opened in Atlanta, and then overnight it crashed and Facebook took over. So all that work, I got over 100,000 followers at that time, which was big for MySpace. And then nothing, to have it go to nothing. And I hated Facebook for so long because of that. But now, of course, we're all stuck with it.
Yep.
Yes, we are, unfortunately.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about making celebrity swinger status from AFF and a little bit more about that story. How did that happen? What does that even look like? How did it feel? How has it changed your life, etc.?
Actually, it's
Giggly.
been huge.
Yeah.
So as part of my occupational hazard, I've been doing photo shoots all over the globe for the last 20 years. And part of that is helping teach girls that aren't models to be models. And I was personally responsible for a lot of the post-shoot editing. And for years, I would quiz and hound and bug photographers for their tips and tricks, to the point where I got so good at the post-production that they would come to me for tips. And when her and I got together, I didn't even have a decent camera. I didn't care about the camera start. I've only cared about post. But she was a model, and I was like, this is a natural fit. So I immediately bought a Rebel Canon XT or whatever they were back then, and got some lighting, and we just started shooting. And that's where we started putting the content, was on AFF, and SDC I think was also one of them. But AFF by far was where we got the most traction. Yeah. And we just fed those photo shoots there, because at that time we didn't have anywhere else to really put them. And at no point did we ever even consider monetizing this content. Yeah. To us, it was just a fun foreplay that we did before a lot of our swinging stuff, or just our sex between ourselves. and we would have a hot photo shoot. I'd buy really cool outfits, and it's this whole like dance that happens between us.
Yeah.
That starts off real fun and giggly like she is, and ends up getting really steamy and sexy by the end.
Yeah.
And that's how it goes. And that's what I thought came across really authentically in our content, because it isn't staged content. This is just our lives, and we were just throwing on a camera and
Like-
recording it and putting it out there.
Yep.
And we had no concept of what it could become back in 2008.
Right.
We just thought it would be fun to have a lot of
Content.
content and meet a lot of cool people, and that's what we did.
Yeah.
And it ended up putting us really high on the search engines for AFF. And because we travel so much, we weren't limited to one state.
Yeah.
We were all over the place, being mattress hopping hoarfrogs all over the globe.
Mattress hopping
I
horse
saw that on
frogs.
Facebook, and that got my heart.
Yeah, we did merch.
Yeah.
March.
Yeah, that's been our line for several years. But yeah, I mean that's what I think really helped, because we weren't limited to one area, and we were based in Vegas, where everybody
Yeah.
comes and visits at some point.
Like,
So
perfect.
it put a perfect storm of us creating this content and then having it be so popular at that moment.
Yeah.
And that just what put us on the map. And once that first door opened, especially once they put us in Penthouse,
Yeah.
that really just exploded the page. And for years, that's all we used, until Facebook eventually kind of took over, and we don't use the profiles as much anymore.
No.
But we'll see. With all the new rules with Facebook, you never know. I don't know.
Yeah, I think Twitter's kind of the new platform that allows pretty much anything right now.
That's the only one. Yep,
Yep.
you're right.
So talk to us about, so you hit celebrity status, and now you're being invited to Swing Fest 2012. Talk to me about that, what that looks like, and hosting for LOV, Dirty Vegas, Sin City, etc.
So my background is nightclubs, bars, restaurants, and predominantly my experiences come from the Las Vegas market. So all of that was a natural fit, because it's just, I'm the chief marketing officer for our company, and we operate in 9 countries. So this was a natural fit for me, because that's how I started in the industry. I was a security, went to promoter, went to bartender, then started running venues, then an owner. Back in 2002 was my first jump from managing to owning. And it's been a crazy adventure ever since. So doing that, it was very natural for us.
Yeah.
She worked in bars, promotions for her whole life. She was also an actress and a model, promo model, event model, Mr. Events, all that kind of stuff. So this is our wheelhouse, essentially. And it all just fell into place with the lifestyle when we realized one day that we could probably travel for free by just creating content and expanding our reach. And what I said we became was a bait couple. I don't know what else to call it, but I think what happens is other promoters naturally can see people with a large reach, and they're going to invite those people to their events because they're going to maximize their reach as well. So we get our role within that ecosystem.
I love meeting them.
Yeah. And to us, we're just documenting our life. And if people like that, that's awesome. And if we can make that into a way to travel and go to these events for free and meet all these people, that's awesome. I just thought it would be fun to do that. And then here we are all these years later, realizing what the true potential could be.
So you are truly the shiny toys that people put in the windows to say, hey, look what we have inside here. Come on in.
That's what I always thought of it as. Yeah, exactly.
I would.
It sounds a
definitely
little
go.
better, the shiny toys than the bait couple, I guess. Maybe your turn's better than mine.
I don't know. I like lots of hot people coming.
Yeah.
I like the bait couple.
You?
I like that term. It's a good
Hey,
term.
that's
We have a couple friends that we've met at Hito that we would classify as bait couples as well. Very aesthetically pleasing, but it's not just that they're aesthetically pleasing, it's their natural characteristic and or behaviors and their ability just to accept everyone and talk to everyone really sends them over the top.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I think that's essential. I mean, how many hot couples have you seen that had zero personality behind it that suddenly weren't as hot anymore? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that doesn't work within the lifestyle. Definitely not within a bait couple, because you want them to be able to talk to everybody. Otherwise, what's the point? You know what I mean? You could just hire a model to be pretty in a picture.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's a lot more is required to do this role within our community.
Right. So what I'm hearing, Silver, is you are the powerhouse behind the photo selection and the photos, and Sadie is the powerhouse behind the visual and the aesthetic and the shiny. Is that correct?
He is the happy, fun, shiny Energizer bunny that everyone loves to be around, and he has that infectious energy. And I'm the one that orchestrates the circus behind the scenes so that we have a good time and don't end up in some crazy ditch somewhere.
Hold my purse for me.
Yeah, I hold her stuff while she dances, basically.
Sound familiar?
Sounds a little too familiar.
I tend to be very outgoing. I'm an outgoing person, and I've never met a stranger. Everybody's going to have fun wherever we go because I'm going to make sure that they're having fun. And yeah,
So Stephanie's MO is to go to a vanilla bar, and within 2 hours, because it's always within 2 hours, there are couples kissing other couples, husbands touching other wives' butts, and everyone's like, oh my God, I can't believe we're doing this. And we're like, yeah, just blame it on the alcohol, but really blame it on Stephanie.
Yeah, blame it on me.
Right.
I'm not going to lie. I did it. You're welcome. So,
Trying to do the same.
yeah, thank you, Sadie. I love it. So, Sadie and Stephanie will be at a venue near you soon, and you will have S
boy.
squared, and you will have the best time of your life. Just hold on and bring bail money.
This is the time where I am so thankful that I have had a career in violence, intimidation, and protection, and healing. Because I need all those things for you to keep our life safe but fun.
Yeah, not that out of it.
So no one can see it, but Sadie's raising her hand going, yes, that's correct.
Okay, so I have had the opportunity and the pleasure and the enjoyment, all of the good positive things, of seeing your content. And your content is phenomenal. So my photographer, Sadie, my photographer right here,
I suck.
is not the, and it could be the model because I don't know how to pose.
I don't have an artistic bone in me.
So we're working on that. But you guys produce this amazing content. Can you give us some tips and tricks on how to make me look better and him take better pictures?
Can I rephrase that question though?
Sure.
For the followers that are listening, what are some very basic tips and tricks they can use to make their photos look better?
Angles. But I can tell you 100% what is really, it's light.
Yes.
Photography is all about light.
Yep.
You need good light to have a good picture.
You can look hot in one picture and just look the same and then look crappy.
With bad lighting, like whatever you consider Photoshop is, what it really is about painting and in light and taking away light. That's really all Photoshop is.
Yeah, that's all him. I just stand there.
Yeah.
So
So if you understand how light works within the relationship of the camera, which is it's oxygen to a camera, then you can kind of get really good pictures by just understanding you need to be looking the right direction with light.
yeah.
You need light, a natural light by a window that's filtered through a white shade, like what's behind us right here, is the best light you're ever gonna get.
Yeah, but sometimes, they just want to take pictures and girls just want to take pictures.
Yes.
So the posing
is also important. Yes.
I like to say the most awkward poses are the best pictures. Now, in consideration, the face. You could have like the hottest shot and most awkward position, but it's the face too. So I kind of had to work with that in the beginning because I'm just just showing my boobs.
Yeah.
So
She would have, we would call it crazy face, but we would do these flashing pictures,
Yeah.
which is like kind of our thing
Well,
all over the world.
little crazy places like fucking Disneyland.
So she would have these like
I'm like,
crazy
"Hey."
big faces, and I'm like, okay, let's dial the face down just a little bit.
I'm like, and I'd be like, really? Like,
And it makes a way better picture. So it really is about the face, how you're holding the face. But from the technical standpoint, the better resolution you can get off your camera, the
Little
better. Light helps. Alcohol always helps loosening up an inexperienced model. That is a thing we have used with our models for 20 years. 100%. And music is another good thing. The model will understand and pick up on the photographer's stress. And whatever he's feeding her is how she's feeling about the pictures. And I can't tell you how many times we've worked with photographers that don't get that with non-models, because they just have no expression. They don't really give a lot of feedback, and the model gets more and more insecure as the shoot goes.
Yeah.
So it's really important for the photographer to go, oh my God, that looks so good. And then give a little gentle direction so that it doesn't become an adversarial relationship, which it can so quickly, so easily.
Just taking a picture.
As you're
For me,
talking,
it's
I'm
always
feeling
the-
laser beams. I'm feeling laser beams.
I'm
in the
terrible
side
at
of my head.
selfies. Just he's a photographer. I'm terrible at selfies. So it's awful. He's like, he'll go on trips and I'll send him a picture and he's like, so the lighting. I'm like, really?
Well, she'll
I'm
put
like,
the light behind
tits are hanging out. You're asking me about the lighting?
because it's behind her, and now I don't see anything because she's just a silhouette.
But I think it looks hot, so I take the picture.
There's a reason why I take the pictures and she stands in front of the camera.
That's funny. So Silver, you remind me a little bit of me, or maybe vice versa, because you're very technical based, but I can tell you still like to have a lot of fun. But when it comes to your speciality, you don't play any games, do you?
Dude, I can't be in the videos if I'm recording. I can't do it.
Yeah.
My hat's off to guys in the industry that are able to pull that off, or within the community that have no problem holding that camera. But I am either in that or I'm in that. I can't be in both. I can't. I'm terrible at it. And to be perfectly frank, I stopped wanting myself to be in the videos back in 2010, probably. I didn't care about me being in them anymore because I never watched those ones because I'm like so critical of myself. But I love watching the ones with her and other people. And with my travel schedule, that's kind of how it all started.
Yeah.
We just made content for me, and then we were like, let's put it up here. And then that took off.
I like making sexy videos, so when
Yes.
he travels.
So that's what it
Watch
was. That's how this all started. It was really just about the travel.
Right.
And then content creation became a whole different animal while this was all happening.
Yeah.
So what, maybe 2012, that's when OnlyFans kind of world started to really pick up.
Oh,
And
yeah,
then it
we
really
did
hit a
that.
big steam, I would say around 2015, 16. And I don't know about you guys, but we see a lot of crossover within the community and with OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Because essentially it's the same content.
Right.
It's the same thing. You're now monetizing that. And for us, we didn't have a choice. This choice got forced on us. All of our videos that were on AFF got ripped before I even knew that could happen. Before I knew you could find a way to record that didn't involve another camera, they ripped them and they put them on torrent sites. And they are out there and we couldn't stop it. And they were on all the Pornhub sites, everything. And it was like this game of whack-a-mole where we would get one down and another one would pop up. For us, we didn't mind sharing the content within our community, right?
yeah.
And for us, it was about, hey, this is what we're creating. This is what you're doing. This is our life. And when that happened, and it was a specific person, this guy, NTB, and he specifically targeted lifestyle girls and put all their content on torrent sites that still exists. Now we've gotten really good with the DMCA claims and everything,
Right.
but I'm still playing whack-a-mole. I pulled 16 videos down last week. And this choice was
crazy.
forced upon us because the monetization of our content happened whether we wanted it to or not. It just wasn't going into our accounts.
Yeah.
It was going into Pornhub's accounts, X-Hamster's accounts. So we were faced with this problem that not only did we have to have a website that we said the content was stolen from, because when you were doing a claim back when this first started being a real problem, they would go review it and they would sometimes reject it.
Yeah.
And so we ended up creating an OnlyFans to be the site where this stuff came from, right? So we kind of started to take back control of our content, and that's how I was able to get really good at policing our copyright.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's, this is what I do for a living, but it's never intended to do this within the community and within our content. But thank God I had that experience, because I knew what we needed to do with this. Sorry, a Doberman's on patrol there. But yeah, so we knew what to do with this. So we now feel like we have much better control over our content and where it's going. But we definitely started becoming more outspoken about this because of what happened, and we want other people to be warned about this so that they can at least know what to do or what they're getting into. You know what I mean? We showed our faces in our content, and a lot of people don't, and we would recommend people don't. But she did Playboy at 18, and I was definitely not a shy person either. And I
was a dancer for many moons.
And I've been working for a company that I'm a partner in since 2002. So, I mean, they're very familiar with what we do. So this is not a shock to any of them, for sure. But it's definitely been an interesting ride for the last, 6 years of what's been going on.
Right. So talk to us.
That took a side turn for you.
It's okay. No, that's fine. So talk to us, to piggyback on the original question. Talk to us about what did Swingfest look like, LLV, Dirty Vegas, Sin City. I mean, talk to us about being invited to host. What did that feel like? What did it look like? I mean, just spill it.
Okay. Yeah. So to fairly answer this question, we have to really start with Swingfest 08.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And that was in Florida. It was probably still to the date the biggest event I'd ever seen.
Oh, Jesus.
There was well over 5,000 people in attendance.
Yeah.
But it could have actually been more.
I think it was 10.
It might have been 10. I just feel like it was either 5,000 couples or 5,000 people. So I can't
like
remember
10.
what the number was, but there was so many. It took over a whole resort, and there was a ton of adult stars at it. And this was new. We were new. We had only been together for a few months. And I had been in the lifestyle for 12 years prior to this, but never done an event. That was never a big thing.
No, I've been in it since 18 and been dancing and never done
events.
Yeah.
We were swinging without knowing what it was called. And when we went to that event, we were not prepared for the attention that would follow. And
I know I'm giggling. But...
we were at one point dodging and hiding behind plants.
It's crazy.
We ducked into an elevator because I wasn't good at it.
Yes. Yeah. So yes.
I wasn't good at telling people no.
I'm fine. So they're like I can hear them. I'm like, they're following us. Like there's two couples.
Two couples that were really targeted. Yes.
Really targeted. One was too aggressive. But I could hear them saying, "Oh, where'd they go? Where'd they go?" And I'm like, "Babe, we gotta hide." And there's a staircase, so I'm like, "Let's fucking get in there." And so I'm like, "Go!" So we get in there and we dunk behind the, like the door, and there's a window. So we dunk down. We can hear them going, "Where'd they go? We just saw them. Where'd they go?" And we're like, "Oh my God!"
Like a Scooby-Doo episode, like when they're running by and people are ducking in doors.
You're like this. Hi.
That's what we were doing.
But then there's another giant tree. We got away from that, and then we had a dunk behind a fucking tree. Like, it was intense, but it was funny later.
But it did lead us to have a discussion about saying no, we're not interested. Mm-hmm. About handle that intense kind of attention. We actually didn't go to another event till 2012. After that, that was just a lot of attention, and to be perfectly frank, we were traveling so much that it just wasn't really how we were doing the lifestyle anyways. But no, Mary Carey, that was the first one, Swingfest. She made out with Mary Carey, who keeps coming up all the time.
Well, kind of, like
she walked by and she had her TV show on, and we were in the pool, and she's like, "Oh my God, hey," to Sadie. And then I have the picture. They immediately started making out like upside down, like I don't even know. And she didn't even know who it was. She just saw a hot girl.
Hey, hot, kiss her.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, that was definitely crazy. Then it was AFF Swing Fest 2012, which is where we first met Michael and Holly.
Yeah.
And they put us on Playboy TV for a couple different things. I don't remember exactly what. And then we did the AMC Undercover episode as well.
Yeah.
Which got seen by a lot more people than we expected.
And that was because I
And it still comes up. Yeah.
When it comes fest or something.
Yeah. So that was, that's why we were there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was an interesting, fun one. And then 2015 is when we decided we would really hit the event circuit harder. The one weird byproduct of the way we were doing the lifestyle is that it kind of, well, the whole reason we were doing what we were doing is just like you said, how Stephanie didn't have a clue about this whole world. Mm-hmm. Her ex didn't really get the lifestyle either. He was pretty much the stereotypical bad husband to have in the lifestyle, where he would like throw her into a room and just wait to see what happened and force her into situations that were really uncomfortable.
Oh, that's terrible.
And I started hearing these horror stories, so it made us want to change the way we were doing it. And I made it more focused on her and her growth. And from that, we had a lot more conversations about trauma, childhood sexual trauma, and how that affects us as adults. Mm-hmm. Because both of us experienced that. I was sexualized really young from babysitters that were a little creepy, obviously. She had a much more difficult situation that would take several episodes to probably cover. But we're horrific, to be perfectly frank. And I could see why she had been with the types of guys she had been with before me. So we focused the lifestyle experience on her journey, which was fine for me. And we hooked up with girls heavy when we first got together.
Oh yeah,
but sure. Then it was really about you and reclaiming her sexual power, honestly. Yeah. And being able to walk into a room and just take charge. Whereas when we first got together, she had trouble going to Walmart by herself. For fear that everybody was judging her,
or someone's going to
do something,
attack me, or
just because she had been gaslit for so long that she just didn't see who she really was.
It was a constant fight or flight for me.
Yeah,
constant, like a battle every day.
So what we did is we made it about a journey for her, and I call it, we were experience collectors, which is what we are. Mm-hmm. We're experience collectors. I like to build a story for her that starts months before we ever do something. And it typically starts within our sex talk, just her and I, where we kind of discover the deep, dark corners of each other that we don't ever say to anybody else.
Reckless honesty.
We call it complete and reckless honesty. And that's where we would find these little stories that would then sometimes develop into something we would do in real life.
Yeah.
And sometimes not, sometimes not. But it was always built around this being me finding the best cocksmen I could find on the planet.
Thank you, my love.
And delivering them to her. And then
on a platter.
Yes. and creating these experiences, not just within Vegas, like in a penthouse suite, which we would do, but also in London, also in Amsterdam, where we would create these experiences and
I felt safe. So it was very, like, the first time ever that I was actually feel safe and comfortable, because I would never been able to do that with my ex at all.
But at 2015, she felt like she was there and wanted me to be more back involved into the actual play.
Yeah.
As opposed to just being the content creator, so to speak. And that's why we started going to events again.
Yeah.
And our first one back was Sin City.
Oh yeah.
And that's we made a pretty big splash at Sin City 5 in 2015. And that's how we started meeting the promoters. And we created our LS account on Facebook, which then people wanted to use to help with their events in Las Vegas or other places around the world. And we were able to create an opportunity where we were traveling for free. We were getting to go to these awesome places and meeting these people.
Wonderful people.
And we had literally
Friends for
no
life.
responsibilities other than posting that we were going to go.
Oh, that was nice.
So yeah, it was a great deal for us, and it was a lot of fun. And we started getting our friends involved and
Yeah.
creating like a whole group of
It's
people.
really nice to be able to talk and have a group of people that you can just say and be who you are, and there's no judgment. Like,
Yeah.
hey, I just flashed somebody, and they're like, oh, no big deal. So let's do it together.
Yeah, exactly. So that's how it kind of happened for us, and that it got really fast and hot, where we went from one event to bam, 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 going to events almost every other month, mixing in travel to international events. Like we were at Puerto Vallarta LLV's trip,
Oh, Jesus.
the one where Hurricane Patricia
Yeah.
came in and took out Puerto Vallarta.
Kind of.
So we were there for that fun, awesome experience. But still to date, even though we evacuated out of that country, it was still our most fun event that we've been
It
to.
was intense,
Yeah.
but fun. Like,
Yeah.
there's a variety of intense.
There was a variety of experiences
A
that we
lot.
had at Puerto Vallarta LLV's trip, for sure.
Yeah.
But number one was how many awesome people that we actually met.
Yeah. That's very
I feel like
exciting.
the people we met at the LLV events were some of the most interesting people we had met within the community so far.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I
They
agree.
just had a really interesting group of people at this event, and most of their events that we've been to the exact same way. I had a conversation with physicists while they were naked
His
about quantum physics.
while they're talking about that, I
Sounds
am
about
with
right.
the wife on the
Dancing with her
dancing.
margarita.
Hey, we're in the foam pit, and they're talking all sciencey and shit, and I'm
Yeah.
like, hey, get naked, let's make out.
That's funny. For Stephanie's birthday, we went to Colette in Austin, and then we rented an Airbnb and brought a bunch of couples back. And there was a new couple, and it was their first experience. Well, his first experience with the lifestyle. She was bisexual and had other experiences. And as Stephanie's literally has a line out her door, because they were all personal friends of ours, and they said, well, what does she want? And I said, I want every dude to fucking go in there and rock my wife out, please. This is her birthday. And so him and I are sitting there talking about shopping, kids, fucking like life, chores, just every day to day as we hear, and he's like, is this how it really is? And I'm like, yeah, actually, probably in about an hour, everyone's going to pause, come grab drinks, alcohol, talk about some family shit, their kids, and then we'll go back to fucking again. This is pretty much how it goes. And he's like, God, I love this.
Yeah, that's what I love. That's my conversations are my favorite, actually, of all of it.
Yeah.
So we know who you are within the hosting venue. We've heard who you are in the lifestyle. Who are you outside of the lifestyle? Like, what do you like to do outside of sex?
We are really big on travel, clearly. I know it's come up several times.
Yeah.
We love eating out. Comedy shows are a big thing for us. Movies are another huge thing.
Working out.
She's in The Hangover, Entourage, Bud Light commercials, a show called Scare Tactics. So like movies
Playboy
are
channel.
a huge thing. Yeah, a huge thing for us, for sure. What else? Art.
I work.
I'm an artist as well.
I was going to be a stylist,
Yeah.
but I can't anymore
Yeah.
because my arm is like literally hanging off.
She has to have rotator cuff surgery, so
I start my career after 20 years, and I'm
Yeah.
like, hey, and they're like, just kidding.
yeah. So and we have a family too, so that takes up a huge percentage of our
We have
time.
3. So
So that would definitely takes up a lot.
Yeah.
Because that clearly is our biggest priority by far.
Right. You have 3 families or 3 kiddos?
3 kiddos.
3 kiddos.
Okay.
Yes.
So many
3 kiddos.
kiddos anymore, unfortunately.
Yeah.
They're growing up.
One's 19, the other's 10 and 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about us. We have one's about to be 21 and joining the military, and the other is 14, and she thinks she's 35.
Well, she's going to
no.
hold on. This morning, I was told, Mom,
Oh, gee.
I turn 15 in 32 days.
Oh boy.
So,
Girl, our 10-year-old is telling me she's like 3 years away from being 13. I'm like, slow down, little one.
Yeah.
You just turned 10.
Yeah.
Let's just keep it here for a minute.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have an alternate question that I've been thinking of as we've been sitting here talking. So I know that with my limited popularity with swing, my lifestyle or the lifestyle changed a little bit for me for maybe a year, and then that quickly fizzled out, and I'm glad because I found that a lot of people were afraid to come up to me once they found out I was on Playboy, or they were intimidated, or what have you, or it was the latter where they were like clawing out the door to talk to me, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm not even that popular, trust me. But so I guess my question is this: since you reached celebrity status within the lifestyle, has that changed your style of play? If so, how? What does that look like? Do you have to protect yourself more or less? Talk to us about that.
So
You can go.
I still laugh at the celebrity lifestyle.
I know.
Yeah, so here's the thing. So we don't swing. I think we don't swing like everybody else does, and I feel like everybody does it in their own little versions.
Absolutely.
Their own versions that work within their dynamic of their coupling. And for us, we have very busy lives, so we don't always have the time to invest into relationships so much as we can do a hot hookup one night. So we typically do it that way. When it comes to events, we've found it's very difficult because we call it the shark pit. So when we're at events and we're hanging out with our friends, you like what you talked about, the people being a little bit afraid to talk to you.
Yeah.
We noticed that around our group of friends that there becomes this swimming circle that kind of is like, it's a lot of eyes on you, and it's very interesting feeling.
It can be a little
One of the
tense.
girlfriends of ours actually had a panic attack from it at an event, like one Christmas event back in 2016.
Yeah.
Because it is an intense amount of attention and it's a lot of eyes on you. And at one point, it was really funny. So I pulled out my camera to take a picture, and I got totally knocked over by about 3 girls that dove in to get into the picture, knocked my phone out of my hand. Like, I could not believe it. It was crazy. So we find that it's really hard to really play at events. We've done it.
We communicate before.
Yeah, we've normally arranged stuff ahead of time.
Now, if I find a girl, I'll make out with her.
Oh, for sure. But when it comes, it can be really tricky because if you're saying yes to one couple and no to another couple,
they get upset.
Their people can get hurt feelings. And for us, because we're kind of experience collectors, we can definitely roll with an organic situation, and we do that all the time. Yeah. But we can't go in with any plan or any expectations, because every time we have tried to do that, it has been a massive failure, and it's never really worked out. Yeah. And it's my fault. I'm an over planner. I like to have everything planned out. But to be perfectly honest, over the 13 years, we've realized we're much better at organic hookups when it comes to events.
I'm just like couples. Energizer bunny. Just, who's hot? Are you hot? You're hot.
Yeah.
Let's make out.
and that's definitely her at events. We definitely are the ones in the room that are making sure the action actually happens versus everyone just being afraid. Right. She's always the first one to be naked every single time. Always the first one to get everything going. Yeah. For sure, that's how it is. We've just realized that we can't ever really plan it out. That it just doesn't work out the way we want. And that's fine. We definitely plan out our little like excursions overseas and stuff. There's definitely a little bit of that.
Personal content.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And then when we were actually creating content, when that layover happened within professional in our swinging world. Yeah. We definitely had to have more planned out stuff.
And that's fine, that planned out stuff.
And when
Vince is not so much.
when it comes to the LS and just
I just
swinging,
want to have fun, and we just need to be. That we're
it's
organic.
just got to be organic. It's just
Yep.
got to happen. So will it happen? It sure definitely could. Can I guarantee it? Absolutely not. But will I guarantee that we're gonna have a ton of fun and that you are gonna love hanging out and we're gonna have fun doing shots at the bar or whatever it is that we're doing at this place? You're definitely gonna have that. I just can't ever guarantee that it's ever gonna go on beyond that because it requires so many moving parts. And in reality, it's about vibe. For her, for me, I'm the hard one, to be honest with you. She's a lot more easygoing. I have a lot harder time when it comes to finding couples that I'm actually interested in. And I can't even tell you what makes that. I don't know what's the quality. It's not a physical thing. It definitely is a comfort thing with their sexuality that I am attracted to. I'm attracted to that in other people.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes, absolutely.
And for us, the other couple, if it is a couple versus a single, which we normally play with singles, they have to have a strong connection, or it will not work for her.
I can pick up like nothing, like that one couple.
Yes, we've played with some couples where there was not that strong connection, and it's been a disastrous outcome every time.
I just want them. I feel if I see any kind of inclination of anything, then it throws me off. Now I'm
anything
super
like what? Anything
in their relationship, like because
they might be looking for something else?
Yeah, because my ex, that's what he was doing for me. When I see a couple or meet a couple, I'm like, hey, nice to meet you, hey, let's have some fun. But if I get a bad vibe, it just doesn't go away, and it shuts it down. And I don't like that happens, but I find out that typically I am right. But it doesn't mean that I'm not gonna be friends with them and hang out with them. I just don't want to be in a situation like that.
When it comes to play partners, the bond between the other couple is the number one important.
Yeah, because I would feel so bad if he's treating her like that. It would just be awful. So I never want to put ourselves or
someone else into that situation.
No,
we just don't. We don't want that.
I'm just big on vibes because I've just been through so much that I can go off of that.
No, that makes total sense. Energy is a big deal.
I don't know. So
no, energy is extremely important, and the foundation of one's relationship is so important, and it comes off a lot more attractive when people are confident in what they're doing, what they want to be doing. You know that's what they want to be doing, and you're not sitting there having to play the guessing game of, is she okay? Is he okay? It's a lot more sexual when everyone's just like, hey, let's fucking go, man. We know what we came here for. Let's have fun and enjoy each other.
And it took us a minute to get that vocabulary, right? It took us a minute to be able to have conversation.
I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings.
We didn't understand what the space needed to be in order to have that kind of a conversation with someone where it wasn't going to hurt their feelings, because in my old world, that's what it would have done. There's a rejection involved there, and it's really hard not to take that personally.
Yeah.
But I feel like within the community, it's not as difficult. There is a lot of people. We're definitely not the only ones that need to be in the right mood to play. You know what I mean?
No. It's the energy, like you said. It's the energy that they have. I mean, they can be super hot and then totally off with each other, and it's a no-no. So.
Yeah.
I agree. I feel that too.
We take that space. We want the space to where everyone can talk.
I can say that we have friends that we've never slept with, but are amazing, and not that we don't want to. It's just we haven't had the opportunity.
We've slept with most of our friends, though.
Yeah, well, there's a couple that I've trying to get in there.
There's only one.
Yeah.
Don't feel bad. Do not feel bad about that. We talked about that when we first started dating, and I was like, look, I have a lot of female friends. I have probably slept with 99% of them. And she's like, oh, perfect, because I've slept with most of my guy friends.
Yeah.
And so now we're at a point where we've slept with most of our friends. Yeah? What would you say, about 70%?
I would say about 50.
50-50?
Yeah.
Okay.
Honestly, yeah.
That's because we haven't gotten to some of them.
More.
So, what is in the future for you guys? What does the future hold for you?
So, well, with COVID and my industry was ravaged, the hospitality industry, over the last 12, 14 months. So to be honest with you, we operate in 9 countries, and I didn't see this vulnerability. I didn't see what could happen. And someone basically went and turned a faucet off, and my money just stopped coming in. And it wasn't just mine, it was hundreds of people across 9 countries where suddenly the faucet just turned off. And it made me really reevaluate everything I was doing. So what I took this last 14 months to do was to monetize my professional last 20 years, monetize my experience over the last 20 years doing what I've been doing. And I ended up securing a book deal with a publisher. And in the discussions with the publisher, we were talking about our personal life. And we've always talked about her writing her story about where she came from to where she is now, because with all due respect, it's amazing she survived her childhood.
My therapist even
Yeah.
said.
And so there's this crazy, amazing story that is within her life and within our meeting and what we've been doing over the last 13 years. And just in talking with her, that turned into a separate book deal, a 3-book deal with the publisher, really targeting what I initially thought would be the target would be 50 Shades of Grey. And I thought that's how the book world worked, right? You want to be an author, you have to be 50 Shades of Grey or Stephen King. Over the course of the last 2 years working within that world, I'm realizing that's not what literary world is at all. A best-selling book is the new college diploma, right? So because I was already doing this in my professional career, we realized that there's something here within the community for ourselves. So when I sent her the 5,000 word outline, she immediately signed us to a deal and then turned it into from 1 book to 3 books, with 3 distinct parts, where the first book, which we're halfway through finishing now, covers our meeting from 2008 to 2015 and ends with the Puerto Vallarta trip, where we were evacuated out of Puerto Vallarta on an 11-hour crazy journey, being chased by cartels as we were leaving. So that she felt was a great ending to that book. But this is really about childhood trauma, about how that manifests in adult life, about dealing with shame, and regaining your power, that you don't have to be a victim your whole life.
Yep. And
that there are many ways to have a relationship, and there's not just one that necessarily fits for everybody. I am definitely not in your guys' career, but you guys would know more than us. I have to imagine there's probably a lot of childhood trauma within the community, because of how hypersexualized I know I became from having that happen. And I would have to think that I'm not the only one that was drawn to the lifestyle because of something that happened from a long time ago and processing that as an adult, right?
Right.
So that's what the book's really about. It's definitely not. It's nothing like 50 Shades of Grey. It's really that you deserve to be loved, that you don't have to be a victim your whole life, and there's more than one way to express love, and that love doesn't all have to be about sacrifice and only being with one person, right? There's a lot of ways to express love. And for us, it's about enjoying your life. We get one shot at this, right? We have one shot, and the fact that we were born at all is in crazy amount of odds, and that we ended up meeting and having our life together is another amount of crazy odds.
Yeah.
But our life wouldn't have worked in a vanilla rule setting. It just wouldn't. Just would not ever have worked. So we found a path for us that works for us. And what we would hope that other people could take from that story is that they should be able to follow their path, whatever that is, whatever that path is. As long as it's not hurting other people, so that you can be authentic. You can live your authentic life. We should all be able to do that. We should be no shame with what is associated with how we do our relationship, because I find it very hard to find any other couples that have the connection that we do, that have the type of relationship that we do. There's such a stark difference between what you see on our vanilla Facebook feed
Oh God,
versus our lifestyle Facebook feed.
I'm not on my regular one. I refuse to go on there.
Yeah, it's a night and day difference between what people are talking about, and being this experience that we've gone through, we realized that we both lived the same exact life, but had two very different experiences, all related to how we process information because of our childhood.
Yeah.
Right. So reality is not real. It's all perception. Perception is king. Right.
Yep.
So we haven't really publicly said anything about her diagnosis yet, and I'm not sure when we will. But she definitely, this has been a crazy adventure that we went on, not knowing what was going on, right? Having no clue, as to thinking that maybe she was struggling because of a hormone imbalance. A lack of testosterone was our first direction that we went, you know, and it took 3 years to kind of figure out what was going on. And we stumbled on a formula that worked, that required no medication, no counseling, nothing. And it all had to do with just how our life worked together. And we didn't realize we were riding a bit of a mania episode when we were doing some of this stuff. You know, I didn't know. All I knew is that she was really horny right now and really wanted to do something. So this lifestyle led us to a place where we were able to come to a much bigger and deeper understanding of each other. It gave me a much deeper understanding of how childhood trauma affects people as adults, and that some of the things that I've done over my lifetime, where I thought I was fixing someone by giving them some act right, might have just been perpetuating another cycle of violence that they have been dealing with their whole life. And my tattoos on my hands, being in the nightclub business, I've kicked people out of bars in 3 different continents, right? I've had scars all over my knuckles from being in fights, from teeth marks of dudes that were beating up their girlfriends, right? And I used to look at these with pride. And going through this with her and really diving into what depression is, to what mania is, and to what trauma does to you for your entire life, I realized a much deeper understanding of what's really going on around me.
Well, I kind of figured out what was going on with me.
What was going on with her.
I knew something was
right.
up. I was trying to fix everything.
So yeah, so the books, the first one is the more fun one. It is definitely the party. We didn't know what we were doing. We were riding this fun wave, and then the second one, which I like to equate to Empire Strikes Back. You know, the first Star Wars movies, fun. Second one, very dark, ends on a bit of a dark note, and then the third one bringing it all together. That's how it was for us. You know, from 2008 to 2015 was one section of one lifetime for us.
Yeah.
2015 to 2018 was another lifetime for us. And from 2019 to now is a whole other understanding and experience for us.
Yep.
So
Each other and our relationship.
and so this has been quite the experience, writing all of this down and seeing your life in outline format.
It's therapeutic.
Yeah,
too.
for sure. And
Absolutely.
it has definitely brought her and I much closer together, and I have a much deeper understanding.
You're so good. He's taken on so much with me. So
Yeah, but we have. So we felt like our story might have some connection to at least one other person.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm like,
And if that happens, great. You know, if we're going to help people out with making their profiles as popular as they can, you know. Well, we're going to help people out with taking better pictures. We're definitely going to do that. But what I hope that anyone takes away from anything that we put out there is that you can live the life that you want, and you should be able to be as authentic as you can in your life, so that you have these kinds of connections, because without these kinds of conversations, without these vocabulary, you aren't having any conversation of any value, because no one's really saying what they mean, because they're saying what you think the other person wants to hear. And that has led me down so many painful alleys throughout relationships of the course of my life, that now that we have chopped our way through this jungle, I'm hoping that starts another conversation and starts more conversations within our community about shame, about jealousy, and what role those do play within the community, right? That we can talk about this, because that's how we're going to get past it.
Yeah.
It just will be the next evolution for all of us within the lifestyle.
Would you? So first, I want to say that was fucking beautiful. Period. It takes no. I'm serious. It takes, in our career field, we talk about feelings all the time, and we talk about very raw honesty. But for you to just open up to us like that and just be raw and real about what you guys have been through, what you're dealing with now, is so much more helpful, educational, and impactful than the story I thought we were going with this. So the first question I have is, would you guys be interested in doing a different type of show, one that brought attention to women taking their sexual power back, and then another one based off of trauma and how to overcome that and how it could be a positive versus a negative? That's my first question.
100%. We are 100% interested in
Okay.
this.
So
we need to jump on that.
One thing, I guess all three of us have a very similar story. I was heavily abused as a child, heavily abused as an adult. My ex-husband is a fucking dick.
Yeah, he's a piece of shit.
That abused me, gaslight, narcissist. So I've been there, and the only reason why I can make sense of all of the trauma that I've been through in my life is to help others. Because to me, it doesn't make sense for me to have been through all of this and to have had to have experienced it all firsthand if I can't help somebody else with it. So that's my point of view. And I tell all my clients that, I will use my story and I will say things to you. I'll tell you more than you never want to know. But I do that because I have to make sense of my trauma. And childhood trauma, all of that is so powerful. And so I also deal with a lot of trauma, a lot of sexual trauma in my day-to-day life with my clients. So that could definitely be a powerful show.
Yeah, very powerful.
Yeah, no, we would that's what the whole point of doing the book honestly is. Yeah. Exactly what you just described. Otherwise, I would be working on my business books right now, but this took over. She's like really gung-ho about this right now.
So we're going to jump on that.
And that's why I was telling you.
There's a delay.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was going to say, that's why I can't tell you like what's really going to come out of it, because we're in the middle of it right now. Like what you were describing, the tips with pictures and stuff like that, that's super useful information that to me is just part of my day-to-day job that other people may not know. And if I can help them out with some quick video about this is what you want to have your profile picture like, this is how you take a good picture, and this is keywords you might want to use in your profile, then great. If that means that they now get to meet more people that are interested in the same things that they are, right? Because that's what marketing really is. It's about trying to get the specific person you want to do something based off of pictures, words, and sound, right? Mm-hmm. So it's manipulating behavior. Sorry, I don't even know how I got on that tangent.
Well, I love listening.
So Silver, you do what I do, and you go with it, and you start talking, and you get so into it. Yeah. And I do the same thing, and she has to constantly cut me off and go, okay, babe.
Well,
but it's good. I employ you to do that more because
I gotta shut up. Like in my head, I'm telling myself this.
But not a lot of people do that. A lot of people have a false narrative when they open their mouth, and frankly they're full of shit. To be frank, I have I'm prior military, prior federal law enforcement. I did a lot of drug interdiction, a lot of undercover work. and I'm also a paramedic. And so I've dealt with a lot of security and intimidation and violence in my life. I haven't had any sexual violence or anything like that, but I deal with a lot of like PTSD, TBI, depression, hyperanxiety, a lot of other bullshit. And I think that needs to be talked about more, especially in the lifestyle, because essentially we are a bunch of adults coming together that are having consensual sex. But if we understood each other's past more, our experiences with each other would be that much more powerful, and on some levels that much more fucking healing, just because of the acceptance and the allowance to say, hey, by the way, I was raped at 13 and 14, so please don't grab my neck because it freaks me out. Great. Sorry that happened to you. I appreciate you being open, and boom. You know what I mean? Yep. Yeah, sorry. I know I'm going off on a tangent and you're staring at me, but I think that these two shows will be a lot more powerful and informative than this one alone.
Well, I know.
Yeah,
I
so
completely agree.
I'm just jumping on that.
So yeah, definitely want to dig into that.
I can be like open book sometimes. I'm an oversharer sometimes, and I think at the beginning would throw people completely off because I'm very open about my past, but also the new diagnosis I've kind of like, recent. So, but yeah, I kind of like an open book basically.
As am
There's
I.
a little filter there.
Yeah, as am I. All right, well let's go ahead and wrap this up.
Yeah.
And then we will get in touch soon about the other ones.
We're going to get in touch directly with you guys, not through Cynthia, about those two, because those are super personal. And now that we know you guys, I'm just going to tell her to fall short, or not fall short, but to exit stage left.
I could text. I'll send our phone numbers to you guys too, so you can get those.
Okay, perfect.
Perfect.
And yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and start wrapping it up.
I know we got to go meet someone for dinner, so I know exactly what she's doing.
All right, so thank you guys for sharing some of your life with us, sharing your tips and tricks, and for just being so open and honest and candid. I think that's a refreshing take on all the things in the lifestyle and all the things in life in general. And I can tell you guys are truly living your authentic lifestyles.
For sure. that if there's anything that we're doing, it is definitely that. Living without, we will never have any feelings when we're, like we talk about when we're dead, like about to die and we're old and we're in the old folks home and we have all of our books. We print photo books of all of our adventures. So we have all these and we'll be like looking through when we were hot type pictures, but we will never have those, we should have done that. Like, that's never going to be a problem we have because we pretty much always make sure to do whatever that is while we're here, because we just know this is it. You got one shot, man.
Yeah.
Live your life. Otherwise, what's the point?
Yeah.
Agreed. 100%. Well, guys, it's been an absolute pleasure.
I am loving this.
Yeah.
So
This is our first podcast together.
Is it?
Yeah, she's done a ton of interviews and red carpets. I've done tons of interviews, but never have we been interviewed together. Yeah. Well, other than, I guess, Playboy TV, but
yeah.
Well.
So what I would like to do, and this is only with your permission, because you were so real, do you mind if I use some of this video? If you do mind, please just say yes, we mind, and we won't use it, period.
Nope.
You go with it?
You can.
Okay.
Good.
And Sadie, stop apologizing for crying. People cry. Shit's emotional, man. Look, life's emotional. Period.
I cry constantly.
So my wife's a crier.
Yeah,
Yeah. What's your thing you tell people? I have big emotions. I wear them on my sleeve, and I might suck your dick 1 second and go in the bathroom and cry for 2 minutes and come back and do it again because I want to. She tells people that.
I love it.
Yeah.
I do.
So much.
It's true.
I have really big emotions, and it's sometimes they overcome me, and I have to go step away. I'll go cry it out and come back and play. Just let me have my big emotions, and don't be scared of them.
Yeah, that was something I had to get used to.
I do the same.
Yeah.
We've locked ourselves in bathrooms a few times. Again, when we were learning our voice,
Well, I
how
still
to
get.
say no.
I still have to step
Yeah.
away sometimes for a second because I
Yeah,
have to.
for sure.
The anxiety I have is like off the charts. So.
Yep.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Just like you,
she does the
feels
same thing.
very strongly.
Yeah.
Yeah, she will sweat herself out and start talking and grab cards and it looks like she's doesn't
Yeah.
want to be there and has a terrible time. And as soon as we step out of the car, she's a whole different person. It's just like,
Yeah.
phew. She's like, I did what I
Yeah.
had to do.
Yep.
So,
Right there with you.
awesome.
Sometimes she will get really stressed out when we play with someone, like right before they show up,
And
and
then,
then she's fine.
I'm like, oh, this is not hey.
That's
Oh my
what
god, I can't
this
tell you
one
how many
does.
times. But, like, should I be canceling right now? Like, what am I supposed to do?
But as soon as the door opens,
In a cab
That
right
is
now.
funny.
once I see the cock, I'm good. So it's okay.
And that has been a true story for her entire life.
You guys may not be our doppelgangers, but I'm going to tell you we have so many similarities. It's kind of it's a little scary.
It is. We just
Well,
keep,
scary is not the right word. It's actually refreshing because it's
Yeah.
refreshing.
What I think,
Yeah.
there's a lot of other people that have the same stories that no one's talking about it.
Agreed.
That's it. We're
Yeah.
just not talking about it.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that we got the chance to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should do that too.
I was not
like
expecting it to
nerds.
go in that direction either, to be perfectly honest.
That's
I didn't think
okay
it would be
though.
so emotional.
I'm an emotional person all the time. So.
No,
Yep.
that's good.
We live.
So I actually have 3 shows based off of all this that I'm going to email it over to you guys, some concepts and thoughts that are really, I think, going to resonate with the people that don't have a voice and the other shows that don't talk about the real shit. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And so let me know what you guys think about that. I'm going to shoot that over here to you tomorrow.
Awesome.
Okay?
Yay.
All right.
And I'm trying to build a group of professionals within the community to absolutely. She asked if she could.
Oh,
Okay.
Mwah! Very beautiful.
yes.
Go ahead. I know.
Mine are. I'm not wearing a pretty bra. It's terrible right now. It's work.
What? Nobody cares about the bra.
It's work.
It's never about the bra, baby. She has very beautiful breasts. Yeah, I was gonna say. Very nice. Very.
Oh, yours is nice today.
Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah.
I'm here to lick the.
I'm kind of like fangirling over yours. So anyway, what were we talking about? I'm sorry. They were breasts.
Your check.
Yeah, we are.
We're gonna email each other
For sure.
and probably take a trip out to Vegas.
Yes.
That's what we're.
Yeah. Love
sure.
it. Okay. Well, we'll get off here and we will talk to you soon.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
All right, thanks,
Thanks,
guys.
guys. Bye. Hey, Fox.
Not again.
Why don't you tell them where they can find us?
Oh, so you can find us on the Bookface.
Facebook.
Yeah, that thing. At the Kinky Coach. Or you can find us at any of the adult beverage websites. You like that?
I do, yeah.
Yes, because you're tasty. You're
Oh.
thirsty. Yeah.
Yes, thirsty.
So you can look for either Luna_and_Logan, or you can look for the Kinky Coach and her Silver Fox. Yep.
So thank you for listening, and we hope you have a very sexy evening.
Have a good night.
You are listening to the Kinky Coach podcast with Stephanie.
And Fox.